Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
One thing I always love doing when we get together is talk to somebody that has a lot of passion for what they do. And usually when that happens, it really means that person has found their purpose in life. This guy over here, his name is Jeske. He has. And this is a passion that's been happening for a long time, but now it's come out in the form of hydroponically grown CBD. And his company is the Purple Nugget, and he's back with us. Hey, Jake, how you doing?
Great, Steve. How are you?
Doing great. I'm gonna out you here for a second. We were paused for a moment because your little one was using your phone to watch TV. I think it's so adorable. Love it.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I don't try to get them addicted to it too young, but just at times like this, we gotta get the babysitter and whatever.
Yeah.
Make it easier on the little guy.
You know what? It's life, and you're doing life, and that's why I brought that up, because your business is a family business. It's not this big corporation. What does that mean for people like us? When you want to buy a product like CBD, you're getting that passion and that love coming out of that product, and you know what you're getting is legit and quality. And I think for a lot of people thinking about going down the CBD road to help them out with, whatever it might be, anxiety, depression, pain, whatever it might be, you always wonder if what I'm taking is potent. Is it the right kind of stuff? And that's what you have. I mean, you're very particular about that. When we got together last time, we were talking about pets and CBD, and you were working on some formulas to figure out how much you would give your pet. And apparently you were right on the money in the numbers you gave us, right?
I was actually, as far as like how much milligrams per vial is in my CBD. I mean, I know I've done the math before, so maybe I was just recirculating it, but it's 33 milligrams of CBD per full vial. Two things. One, you're talking about growing CBD as a passion. Like as you talk, I mean, I just love answering these questions. Even in fact, having these podcasts with you, Steve, has really allowed me to kind of get that focus as what's the virtue of my business, and I really is growing. I mean, I love growing. I love being able just to pull the product right off the shelf and show people that this is exactly what's going into all my products.
Yep.
I mean, all the lotions, all the salves, it does take, some expertise to make that. But I mean, and it doesn't take, a genius to make a lotion. It's 10 ingredients, a really good blender, a good recipe. But that 1,000 milligrams of CBD that gets into it, to be able to grow that to this potency and to be able to show that to people, I think just sets me apart from all the rest. In the next thing we're talking about is with the pets. The last episode I got a little bit thrown off because they were asking about cats specifically. CBD is perfect for almost any type of pet, any animal actually is looking for that CBD. Has those CBD receptors that could help calm them. And with the 4th of July coming up, as we were talking earlier about the fireworks and all the bangs and the partying, CBD could be a great choice to kind of help your animal, kind of get through those fireworks, those little bit of noisy times.
Yeah. And it's funny, at least in my neighborhood, when it's around the 4th of July, it's not just the 4th. The fireworks are going a week after that. People realize that, oh, wait, I got another bag of stuff. Let me just blow some more stuff. But then your pet's in sometimes freak mode. I know my dog is now 5. When he was younger, it didn't affect him so much. Maybe past the age of 3, I guess he's more aware, and just he starts shaking. And I know that this year CBD is going to be, help for him as it helps so many people, with stress and anxiety. So what would it come out to, from your CBD tincture? And by the way, I spoke to somebody yesterday who is very knowledgeable about a lot of stuff. And I said the word tincture, and she's like, the heck is that? Well, that's the drops you put under your tongue. She had no idea what it was. Yeah. So what's the equation? If you wanted to give your pet CBD, what would the dosage be typically?
On a low dose, 5 milligrams per 10 pounds is a great way to start. Like I said, that's even on the low dose inside of it. Due to the potency of our products, I know some other products even have 15 to 20 milligrams of it. I'll start them off at 5 milligrams per 10 pounds. You can do the math if you want to start self-dosing your animal. What ours come out to is about actually 1 milligram per drop. There's about 33 milligrams per full vial. I gave it about good 3 squeezes, about 33 drops came out of it. You can do the math right there. That's pretty much what it is. So about 5 drops on your pet's regular food is probably the best way to go
Mm.
for about 5 milligrams. And that's the way we kind of want to take it, just because I know a lot of pets are actually a little bit of a diet restrained, we'll say. I know a lot of pet food out there doesn't have like the right amounts, maybe nutrients, or like it's not grown the right way or using the right nutrients, and so they try to like start straying away from like dietary pets or whatever. So this could be added to any of the pet food that you're already giving your pet.
I love your mentality, Jake, about the way you run your business, because we talked about gummies and how you don't make them because they're so loaded with sugar. And I didn't realize that until I looked deeper into it, and they are. And the same thing with what you offer in terms of, the drops. Like, you're very particular about what goes into the product. And when I first started with CBD, I always wondered what the potency is. Like that 5 milligrams for one company could be one thing, could be very little in terms of the amount of CBD in there. But we know what we're getting when it's coming from you, because you are very particular about the products that you make.
Yeah, absolutely. All the passion is in what I grow, and it's all shown in the products that I make, like you say. I love the way you put it, Steve.
How do you figure that out? I don't want to get like super scientific, but how do you know how much is in any particular product?
So we get all our products third party tested through Badger Labs right here in Wisconsin. Between just having it between the DATCP, which is the old regiment that Wisconsin is using. Now we obviously moved into the USDA format, which will be new for everybody this year. But luckily, we still get to use the same parties that we were using to test our products by going through Badger Labs. Now they're USDA certified also to come out and test all of our products. After even for that, that's just to make sure that the it follows the state regimen of being the below zero point 0.3 THC. After that, there's still like another 3 to 4 weeks of flowering that we have to do, and then we have to do the harvesting, the curing, and then I still get all my products tested throughout those stages just to make sure that's exactly at that CBD potency that I want it at. Because if you even wait a couple of days, even before or after, like the perfect time zone for the trichomes to be filled with that CBD molecules that we're looking for, you'll start losing potency one way or the other. So you kind of have like this perfect little like 1 week time zone to really pull all of your CBD and start fueling it.
You just sparked something, and I never looked into this, and I wonder about it. What's the shelf life on CBD? How long can you keep it once it's open? What can you tell us about that?
For like as far as like the CBD extraction that we extract, I know that's good for a couple years, and also it's going to be all in the way you store it. If you store something properly versus storing it outside in the daylight or whatever, it's going to last longer or shorter. I'm going to say about the CBD tincture that we make. Once you open it, I'd say you have about a good 4 months on it, so I don't see any reason why it would go bad. Typically, people use it up within like a couple of months. I'll start asking around to see if people have opened one and not used it and seeing if it lasts or had any problems or whatnot. But I would keep it out of direct sunlight. That's with all of my products. I'll keep it in pretty much just your house temp. Don't keep it outside. Don't really keep it in your car. Your bathroom is a great spot that probably has a great humidity and temperature zone that's perfect for any of my products, honestly.
For you personally, we skimmed on this once before, but I'm really curious. By the way, the website is thepnug.com, right?
That's right. www.thepnug.com.
For the purple nugget. So what do you take? Like, you have CBD at your fingertips. You could do whatever you want. How much do you take? When do you take?
I do a capsule. I do a capsule every morning. That's when I take it. These are just a really great, easy little way to kind of take your CBD daily. I don't mind the tinctures or whatnot. I just adapted to the capsule because I think it's just an easy way to kind of take it. That's what I do on a daily basis. If anything gets too out of control, I got like a really bad knuckle here and a bad elbow just due to the things I did as a veteran when I was in the service. I definitely utilize my cell. That's just kind of when things really need to start working. Or if I need to up my golf game too, my lower back pain, when I get in a little squat position, I always feel like after like, I don't know, hole 4 or 5, I just get a little bit of that soreness. That's just from the muscles trying to like keep your back arched or whatever. I use my CBD for my golf game, actually, probably more than my elbow pain, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And how long does it take to take effect? I've never asked this question, never knew the answer. We can talk about
Yeah.
the tincture. We can talk about the capsules, gummies, whatever it might be, how long it gets into your system. But I've never,
Everybody's a little different, but
okay.
I'm on 20 to 30 minutes.
Even on, even on the salve or even on a lotion.
For the salve, I have clients that definitely say, 20 to 30 minutes.
Wow.
For the salve, I'd probably say give it like I'd apply it. Let's talk about the way actually we apply the salve, because I know there's a
Mm.
different concepts. When it comes to it, I'm going to open this one up here. I'll have to send this one to you, Steve.
Hey, you should be wearing gloves. I'm only kidding.
Really should be, actually.
I'm not crazy about
Yeah,
any of that. I'm joking, by the way.
that's fine. I'll send this one to my grandma. She loves this stuff for her feet.
Awesome.
So like if you have like pain in like your hands and like let's say like arthritis,
Uh-huh.
typically I'm gonna go kind of lightly, but I'd say like half of a teaspoon is like enough to go right here. So like some people with arthritis, it's gonna like happen like right here, and so let's apply it right there. That's a good spot to start. But now let's talk about like absorption rates. Like when it comes to like absorbing like CBD, it's great to put it like on right where it hurts. But when it comes to absorbing, as you can imagine, everything happens like right here. Like this is where all your veins, this is where all your nerves are going to be condensing. It's going to be going into your hand, and then that's like recirculate and come right back out here to go to your heart. So if you actually want something to like absorb better, like into your hand, this is where you kind of want to put it because it's going to have that longer time to actually absorb and come back into it. So I'd say a little bit like right where the pain hurts, and then obviously I put it right here because that's where it's going to absorb into. I believe the absorption parts are from the wrist to the elbow, both arms. It's also going to be from the back into here on both hands. For the shoulders, it's going to be behind the neck, down your spinal cord. Also for like your feet and your knees, I don't want to show you, but it's going to go from the back of your Achilles heel up to like the back of your knee, and then from the back to the knee, like right up to your butt. Although those are great spots to put it to like actually like help the absorption rate happen a little bit quicker.
Can you talk about, and by the way, thank you for showing that because you just sparked a memory. I
Sure.
have every once in a while from lifting weights, the same thing in my wrist. And out of nowhere, I'll just move it. I'm like, or if I put it down, push on a counter, I'll feel pain in my wrist. So I never thought about using CBD for something like that. Unreal.
Yeah. I see those muscle bound guys walk by me, and I always try to find a way to like, I don't know, introduce people to CBD because I know I think anybody could use CBD. I know, the cannabis family is always attracted, like, these, I don't know, I want to say, Cheech and Chong type characters. And, right, but I'm telling you, like even people that work out, people that run track and do marathons, they're utilizing CBD for the benefits of it. That's helping their muscles like restore faster. It's helping them not exactly do more reps or anything, and maybe it is honestly if they really want to push themselves a little bit harder. But it's about those muscle recovery times, and that's what people are really looking for because after you work out, you don't want to be as sore as you can be. Obviously you want to like just go enjoy everything else.
How does it actually work? The cannabinoid system is in your body. Do I have that right? It's something that's just naturally occurring. And then the CBD that you put into your body really addresses that and helps them reset. How does, I'm kind of thinking this, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's like called the endocannabinoid system,
Okay.
and you can think of it as like your nervous system. And what it is it's just like the nervous system. You can take a needle, poke anywhere in your body, you're going to feel that pain. The endocannabinoid is connected to every single organ in your body, from your teeth to your toenails. The endocannabinoid is actually always looking for cannabinoids to like feed your organs because it acts, so readily as like a rejuvenator, as far as like, making sure that it restores it. It's like the receptors or whatnot. And by all means, everybody do your own research. This is just the stuff that I'm finding on it. But yeah, it really has been helping the body just find that it restores the broken down particles of it, broken down parts. I don't know if I'm saying that right, and maybe I should research it and find the exact Google terminology that you guys might be looking for. But I know that by working with the endocannabinoids, you get the benefits of CBD. That's how you get your pain relief, your and reducing inflammation, and like all the other benefits that we love to talk about with the CBD.
Jake, isn't it amazing? Here we are, 2022. this stuff has been around for centuries.
Right.
Hemp has been around for like almost the beginning of time. Isn't it just amazing that we're only talking about it now, even like in the last couple of years, talking about CBD? Why do you think that is? And won't go conspiracy theory here or getting
Conspiracy
political.
theory if you want to go with it, but I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I believe it got banned in like 1918 or 1913 or something. I don't remember the exact year of it. I mean, to my knowledge, it was really had to do more with the cotton and the plastic industry. I think there was enough fingers in the, enough fingers in the money jar to say, hey, we're already producing cotton, we're already producing plastic in this way. If you allow these industries that are already proving to utilize hemp to like utilize these products, could could do it cheaper, could do it with a less of a carbon fingerprint. At the time, I don't really think, and I don't know if I'm getting too deep in conspiracy here, but at the
No.
time, I believe that people really cared enough about our carbon footprint. And they're more concerned about the money that was coming from the industrial revolution that they felt, and they wanted to keep that money wheel going. And the only way they knew that it was already working. I mean, I don't know if they did this for American economy. I mean, if the system's working, why change it? But I do believe that if they would have focused a little bit more on the green footprint that they could have put in, like back in those days, I think that we would have saw just a huge change in the way industries utilize the hemp products as the fibers that it could really be used for. So I think that would be, and whatever the reason was, I'm glad that we are here now. I'm glad
Yeah.
that CBD is legalized now. I'm glad that there are businesses looking into it to reduce the carbon footprints, to extract all that and to actually start utilizing and making this green footprint be more effective. So,
Well, you have a lot of people. An interesting observation that you have that goes way back, but even big pharma.
yeah,
There's always that thought there that the pharmaceutical companies, if CBD was recognized by the FDA and got all the stamps of approval, everything was fantastic. What would happen to the pharmaceutical industry?
the research I've done, CBD was in almost every single medical product like before it got banned. They knew the medical advantages of it. I mean, since the ban, I think they were kind of forced to try to find an alternative to this. So I guess I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm curious to see how it's going to go down, because I think CBD grown the right way and produced the right way, that's not a pharmaceutically, designed product. I think it's going to do wonders. And
Yeah.
I can't wait till the smarter people than myself can start looking into it, studying into it. That which they already are doing. I mean, that's how you're getting all this research, I suppose. But it's
Yeah.
just amazes me.
So we have a question, and by the way, we're talking with uh, Jake Jeske, who is a guy who knows the CBD because he grows it hydroponically, and that's what makes the purple nugget different. And you can see it at thepnug.com. Ian checks in from Port Jarvis, New York, and says, "How long does a typical CBD capsule stay in your system?"
About 24 to 48 hours. I know people find the pain relief from it.
Wow.
People find they take it either every day or every other day. So, but as far as for me, for my sleep regimen and what I need, I take it every day, and I find that it just sets me right.
And it's something, and this is not a sales thing here at all. It's just the way that CBD works that, as I've learned, you need to regularly take it for it to
Yeah,
be in your system and to continually connect with your system. It can't be like, every 3 days, let me pop a capsule. Yeah, maybe the lotion might be different if you just have that reoccurring pain. But let's say for somebody, just overall well-being, just feeling better, just overall, just have a better state of mind on a daily basis, like you do, it's perfectly okay.
absolutely. Um, and like back to the endocannabinoids, I mean, the endocannabinoid and all the organs, I mean, it reacts to CBD and to the way where it helps it just like that. By taking it every day, it keeps that system alive and working. And with that system working, it's just pumping all that CBD back into your system and keeping it alive.
Yeah.
When it comes to like the time regiments, as far as like 24 hours or 48 hours with the salve itself, I know people with back pain, they put it on either every morning or every other morning. So that's why I would say 24 to 48 hours.
Interesting. So I learned something here. I didn't know it lasted that long in your system. I always thought that let's say you take a CBD capsule and it's in your system for, I don't know, 5 hours, whatever it might be, but um, not the case apparently.
Well, I mean, I know people are finding reliefs of the capsule for up to 24 hours. As far
Okay.
as like being like drug tested, how long would it be in for? I gotta imagine that really comes down to how much you're taking of it. I mean, if you're really loading up on your capsules, like 3 capsules a day, I mean, it's gonna be in your system a lot longer than somebody that's just taking that, a couple of one vial a morning. So
Right.
I guess I'm really going off of like what I've gotten feedback as far as like how long it lasts for the person that's taking my product. Because it's also going to come down to how potent the product is that you're taking. You
Yeah,
know,
and then there's that, and that was my point before when pop into the beverage place that has CBD, at a little counter over in the corner. Just going to say it's probably not a premium product or even close to that. It probably doesn't have a lot of potency. Um, I personally, I wouldn't take that. I just wouldn't feel comfortable with it.
right.
That's why you want to, do a reputable company when you're thinking about your CBD. So we hit upon it real briefly last time, but you're growing out in the field now. That's got to be so exciting for your company. Like your company is growing literally.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We want to kind of see what we can perform. I have a lot of like land around me, a lot of farmland, and so I'm going to utilize what I have, kind of see what I can grow with it. Like we were talking about earlier with like CBD and the fibers and whatnot. We're trying to look for businesses that are interested in like such things and start doing the research and utilizing our CBD to start utilizing that cotton fiber or whatever they're trying to make out of it. So yeah, a little bit of new stuff for us going on a little bit. We also have a company that's interested in start doing our actual dog treats. They're already making dog treats with CBD hearts in it. They kind of are on the same path where maybe CBD hearts aren't exactly the benefits that the animal is really looking for. So they're starting to look at our CBD extraction and start putting into it. So that's going to be kind of new for us too. Yeah, we're always growing. I mean, if a company's not growing, it's dying. That's what I read in all the books. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I love the I guess the imagery of that. The purple nugget. We're always growing.
that's really good, Steve. I'm going to have to hire you on for our marketing. You said like 3 things that I use in all of our farmers. Garbage in, garbage out. That's what I say to everybody.
Yes.
Again, I mean, just look at the product that we're putting in. I believe this is the cherry product that we have, and this is what we grow on a daily basis. We don't normally grow or sell a flower. I was approached for somebody that they said that they roll their own cigarettes and they started wanting to put my CBD flower in their cigarettes. I know he was from Oregon. I can't think of his name. I want to say Kurt, but I don't think it was that. Sorry, but he got back to me this Saturday and he just absolutely loved it. And
Wow.
I don't know if I want to start mailing it or sending it, but as far as anybody that's locally listening at the farmers market in Appleton, I know we got a couple viewers. I mean, yeah, I think I actually maybe I will start selling a little bit of flour for people to start, I guess, rolling themselves. I know that's a little new. I don't think we're going to be doing any packaging like that, but I mean, it's good enough to smoke, I guess, is the only way to say it. And the people are liking it.
Which probably, from what I understand, is the best way to take it into your system if you're okay with smoking it, right?
It really is. I mean, as far as like the extraction and everything that we do, it's a great healthy way that people have been doing for years. But to get the full flavor, the full terpenes, then the fastest way for the fastest effect would be to smoke CBD. It's just the way it works. So I guess the way it gets into your lungs, that whole absorption is just a whole different thing than I guess taking it orally. So
Yeah.
they don't smoke, so I don't. But for the clients that I have that do, they find that the CBD flower is a great way to alternatively take CBD. Yes.
So with what you grow, just so we all better understand what you are growing, can you also sell that to companies for hemp products? Like we talked about back in the day, rope was made from hemp and other things. From what you're growing, could you also do that as well?
Yeah, I believe that's where the fibers come from, but I think it's actually more from the stock itself. I don't think they're really concerned too much about the flower. So what we're trying to do is see if we can find the best of the both worlds. So I have all my clones kind of going. This will be the first year that we're kind of doing this. So I'm just going to kind of see what the results are. I mean, sometimes you just kind of have to send yourself to Mars to see what's going to happen, and then kind of react to it. But by growing it all, I know that they are looking for like more of the male plants. I don't want to do that. That could obviously crossbreed into the females that I'm growing. I'm not even going to get into the statistics of that, but I don't want to have any type of pollen growing around me.
Mm.
So we're going to be doing it all female, but I'm going to see where it goes with it, honestly. And there's also, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Not at all.
As well as this goes, I mean, being going to Oregon, I mean, there is some great CBD products that comes from the ground. I mean, that you can grow from soil. So it'd be kind of good to like kind of test my own skills to kind of see how that can kind of interpret and see how well I can really put into soil. But it's not coming from a seed in the soil. We're doing it all from clones. I just want to kind of like, I guess, kind of catch up on that. All of this is coming from what we've already been hydroponically growing. So the genetics are just going to carry over. I just don't want to like, take out the name hydroponically or anything, because that's really what I'm all about. But, there's a lot of ways to do things, and I'm interested in finding every way to do it.
Well, that's what is super cool about you. You're always doing the research. You're always trying different methods to improve the product at the Purple Nugget. So 2 questions. When you do grow, and let's say you harvest, how long do you have before you put that into a product? Is there a shelf life? Is it something you can freeze, from the plant itself?
For the flower itself, we can freeze the flower, and like we kind of we extract the oils like as we kind of need it. That's kind of one way we were kind of going when we were starting off, because we didn't know exactly how much oil we needed or what we were going to put the oil in for the products. At this stage of our business, I mean, we're kind of busy. Products are definitely helping a lot of people, so we extract that oil pretty quickly. But we definitely do up to like about a month to a 2-month cure time, like in like these jars right here. That's what I keep pulling out. By curing it in the jars, that is about 60% of your potency right there. I don't know other way to say it. In the books I read, that's the figures that they give me. But if it's not cured right, it's like your job's not done just when the flower's grown. Like when you take it out of the ground, your job isn't done. It's almost just beginning, because now you got to cure it. And harvesting and curing, there's machines that do it. There's like these automatic trim machines. I own one. It does work all right, but I still prefer the hand trimming method, and so does everybody else on my team. I just feel that that's how you leave the flower to its most like undamaged, and like as you're like taking away all of, like the leaves on the outside. Yes, the trichomes that grow from the inside out is like pretty much where all your potency is really going to be coming about. But I just think that by not doing that, by doing it by hand, you get more potency out of it, and it just comes with the passion of the product. I love doing it.
Well,
So,
it's grown. Everything's by hand. I mean, it doesn't get any more homegrown than that. I find it fascinating. It's always great talking with you, Jake. Like I learned so much, and for me on the CBD road, I just began maybe, I don't know, 6 months ago, but now I'm learning so much more. And, even the fact that it needs to be in your system, because I was the guy that, oh, you know what, I'll take some CBD so I can sleep better. I can fall asleep. Okay. But staying asleep, no, I'll wait a couple of days. I got to catch up on my sleep, but it doesn't work that way. And that's what I found and I thought it was maybe the product or it was me, but I wasn't taking it on a regular basis. And that's where I was derailing. And that I learned from you. You got to take it on a regular basis. That's how it works.
yeah, it is kind of how it works. I'm gonna do some research just to kind of get more of the lingo down for our next episode. So by all
Sure.
means, tune in then. I just kind of felt that it maybe I fell over my words a couple bit, but we're gonna go over a little bit how that really does work with the endocannabinoid system, and I really dig in a little bit to see how that really does affect the body, because I'm kind of curious about that too. I mean, I'm great at growing it, but I'm great at making all my products, but like I really want to get down to the whole scientifical part of it, just like you do. Like, how does it affect the brain? And let's talk about that next week, actually.
Yeah. It's super cool. And that's what you are, so real, so genuine, Jake. And that's what makes your product and your company fantastic. It really does. Check out the website, thepnug.com, the letter P as in purple, thepnug.com, and the Purple Nugget. And looking forward to catching up again, Jake.
All right. I'll see you next week, Steve.
All right. Thank you. Keep on growing. Don't stop.
I won't. I never will.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.